WCEGtalkradio.com. Watch us live on your smart TV, on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn under WCEG Network. I'm Wardell Richardson, your show host right here on WCEG Wood, the Hollywood of the South, for the next hour. We are your worldwide empowerment group where we speak life into the community. Subscribe free to our YouTube channel, WCEG Network. Like, follow, and connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, IG, and LinkedIn. Download our free mobile apps on iOS, Apple iPhones, and iPads. Go to the Apple Store, search for WCEG Talk Radio. On Apple TV, search for WCEG Network TV. On the Apple Watch, search for WCEG Network. And on Android mobile phones and tablets, go to Google Play and search for WCEG Talk Radio. Last and not least, the topics and opinions are those of the show hosts and guests and not those of WCEG Network. Thank you for your continued support. I am Wardell Richardson, actor, producer, director, host of WCEG Wood, the Hollywood of the South, CEO of Raine Dance Films, and I am happy to bring to you my guest today. But before I get to her, I just have a few updates. If you have missed out on the premiere of The Strength of Love a couple weeks ago, you missed out on an amazing, amazing, and amazing premiere at the Atlantic Station Theater. It brought in so many people, and still to this day, we're getting talks about it. I get emails. People are watching it on Apple TV and Prime Video. If you have not heard, I mean, we've been promoting it like crazy. So please go and check it out. If you haven't heard, it's easy. Go to my page, go to anybody's page who's been in the movie, and you will see it promoted. Apple TV and Prime Video. Please go check it out. It's an amazing movie about Black love and how we go through different struggles. Not just, well, let me just say this. It's a twist on how things usually are. That's all I'm going to say. In order to know what I'm saying, go and check out the movie. It is an amazing movie. You will not be disappointed. I promise you, you're going to be in my inbox like, yo, that was great. We need more stuff like that, because that's all I've been hearing. So please, please, please go check it out. Secondly, Soleil. I have been promoting an event called Soleil that will take place on the 13th of June. Soleil is for the grown and the sexy. Me and my wife have teamed together with Jeff Bass and Maria Bass of Bass Production, Bass Brothers Production, to bring to you Soleil, where you will get a 3-course meal, wine, champagne, drinks, whatever you want to eat. We have a chef on hand. We have jazz bands. We have DJ. It's going to be a great night. 4 hours every second and fourth Saturday of the month for the next 3 months, starting in June. So check it out. It is on my page. Go to my link. Click on the Evite, and there it is. All the information about it. You can get VIP seating. If you get VIP seating, then of course if you want to go big, you can get a party bus and rent a hotel room at the Moxie Hotel downtown. All that will be included in the price. So make sure you go and check it out. It's going to be an event to experience, and that's what we call it, an amazing experience. It is. I can't even express it. I'm just excited about it. If you are grown and you sexy, and men, if you're looking for something to do with your lady, you want to take her out for a nice little evening of dancing and jazz and wine. You know how we like to get down. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Do your thing. Book it and have a blast. And let me know what you think afterwards. I promise you're going to have a good time. First day is June 13th from 6 to 10. You are invited to come and party with us. Once you click on and get your ticket, it will give you the location of where it is. It will be in Locust Grove, Georgia. But please go on there and check it out. There are couple seatings. There are single prices, couple prices, and VIP prices. You don't want to miss out on this event. It is going to be amazing. That's all I want to say. We put a lot of work into it, and I'm very excited about it. without further ado, without further ado. So I'm always watching people on social media. That's just what I do. I do it all the time because, as most of you know, I am an actor, producer, director, CEO of Raine Dance Films, and I have plenty of film projects coming up, TV series. I'm getting ready to do one of the biggest films of my career. My company it's a huge film, and I'm looking forward to doing that starting next month. We may be casting for some more talent. I'm not sure yet, but we're gonna check all that out. But without further ado, I have been watching this woman online. She has been just getting awards and doing this and doing that. I never met her in person, but I just see her moving here in Georgia. And I say, I got to get her on my show. I got to figure out who this woman is and what she's doing because it's showing. And all my people who are in the industry, which I have a lot of people that is connected to her in the industry, they all say, man, yeah, she's great. She's amazing. She's a nice person, this, that, and the other. So I wanted to bring her on the show to talk to her personally. That woman is Chiquita Rhodes, better known in the industry as Chi Chi. How are you?
Hello, Hollywood world out there. What's up? What's up? Thank you so much for the introduction. I am doing wonderful. God is amazing. I'm
Yes,
good.
he
I'm
is.
alive. I'm living. I'm here. I'm living on purpose, so I'm doing good. Yes,
Well, I've
yes,
been I've been seeing you busy. I've been seeing everything from film, from speaking engagements, from awards,
yes,
from I think you dance at the church.
yes, I do.
I saw videos. I've been seeing. I did my research. I saw a lot of stuff,
Doing
and
everything.
I said, this woman is moving. So let's go all the way back. Let's start from the beginning. I saw
Yes.
that you were from Winston-Salem,
Mhm.
right?
Yes,
And
sir.
you
Yes.
came to Atlanta. So what caused you to move to Atlanta?
Well, first of all, let me say, I in Winston-Salem, when I used to live in Charlotte before I moved here, relocated here.
Okay.
So, little fact about me, I've been in the banking industry for like 27 years, right?
All right. Okay.
I've been in treasury banking, so I wear a couple of hats, okay, all my life. I've been wearing a lot of hats, but I've been
Wait,
in
you
the
said
banking.
27 years?
Yes, for 27 years, I've been in the banking
You
industry.
look like you about 28, 25, 28 years old.
Listen, I get that all the time. Everybody think me and my son. Now, see, my son is 25. I have a 25-year-old son. So when I'm
Wow.
with my son, they think he's my boyfriend. But I'm like, nah, that's my son. I tell people say, well, what are you doing? How do you look so young? And my two things, melanin and Jesus. Baby, them two
Yep,
things right there keep you looking good. You hear
you
me?
got that right.
If you got them two on your side, you're gonna look good all your life. So yeah, but I moved here from Charlotte, North Carolina. Growing up, I always knew I was gonna be an actress, right?
Okay.
Entertainment, that's always been my passion since I was a little girl. Since I was 3 years old, honey. I've always had a microphone in my hand, I'm doing something. But I came here with my company, Bank of America at the time. I was working with B of A, and
Okay.
they actually relocated me here. Now, I had already planned on coming here because my family had relocated here.
Gotcha.
So I used to come and visit Atlanta all the time growing up since I was a young girl.
Okay.
But
Okay.
when they started turning things around, with the banking industry and then also with acting,
Right.
Atlanta
Right.
started becoming a Hollywood.
Right.
This was just the perfect place, right? It fit like a glove. So this is where I was supposed to be. Yes.
Nice. Nice. And so, how
Mhm.
long ago was that you moved here?
So I moved here in 2013 from
2013.
Charlotte,
Okay.
2013 from Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm still in banking, so I still wear that same hat. I ain't let it go yet until
Okay.
I'm gonna wear multiple streams, and I'm gonna have different streams coming in. but um, but yeah, so I'm still in banking. So I'm a treasury banker, relationship manager is what they call it in the banking world. So I manage accounts. I work with CFOs, CEOs, you name it. So I'm managing money and I'm managing my thing too. So, but yeah, I've been
Okay.
here since 2013. And like I said, what got me here is the banking industry. That's what originally
That's
got me here. But I always knew Hollywood entertainment this is my baby, this is my passion. So I'm
right.
right where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the thick of it. So I've been juggling, both hats. Now, before
Right.
I came here, like I said, I've been acting since I was, 3 years old. I have always,
Okay.
the theater was my background. That's my passion. I always tell people, if you want to start somewhere, baby, start with theater, because baby, it will break you or make you. You go.
That's the one thing I say. I say that all the time. If you want to get started in this industry, do
Yes.
theater, because once you go to film, it's like a piece of cake.
You're right. It is. You know what I'm saying? Because with theater, you really truly have to learn presence.
Yeah.
You have to have voice control. There's so many
Yeah.
different aspects of theater that you really just breaking out into acting. You learn so much, and you can really develop yourself more. As an actress, as an entertainer. And learn presence, and it just does that. Theater is, to me, is like the foundation. So
Yeah.
that gave me my foundation. But I remember growing up
Okay.
as a kid, all my life, my family I was always the one they say, Chiquita, come here, and especially grandmamas. Grandmamas good for this. Come in here and do so and so, reenact so and so. It didn't matter if it was a church member, somebody on TV, it didn't matter. She said, I
Right.
know somebody that can do it. Chiquita, come in here and reenact so and so. So I used to just watch television, and I used to watch people, and I would
Right.
just soak it up like a sponge. And I'm like, and I'm going to go to the bathroom mirror and see if I can reenact them, or, replay them out. So I've always loved, playing characters. I've always fell in love with characters. And
Okay.
that's where my foundation comes from. That's my background.
Okay. So you moved to Atlanta, and you continue. Do you continue doing theater, or do you go over? When do you switch into film, or do you do
Yes,
both?
I do both.
Okay.
So initially, when I got to Atlanta is really when I started kind of getting more into film.
Okay.
Because when I was in North Carolina, so I'm not sure if anybody knows, but North Carolina is known for North Carolina School of the Arts, right?
Okay.
And every year they have a theater festival, the Black Theater Festival. Well, I think not every year, but every other year they used to have it in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So I grew up around theater. So I did a lot of theater in high school. I did a lot of theater, and then when I came here is when I got into film. So coming here, it was a lot of networking. Of course,
Right.
here you got to network.
Oh yeah.
You got to
Big
shake
time.
hands with people. You got to
Yeah.
get to know people. You got to go where the action is. You got to go to where the events are, the
Right.
networking events. So I just started really networking with a lot of people and really just putting myself out there. And the number one thing that I love doing, and I'm a stickler for this, and I tell anybody, if you want to go anywhere in life, you must be a servant first. So
Yeah.
I always try to find someone with a vision, who has a vision. If you're working on a production, whatever it may be, I like to plug in and serve and say, hey, how can I use my gifts,
Okay.
to serve your vision? So that's how I got plugged in here in Atlanta, just serving other people's visions, finding out what other people are working on, their projects. And then, they found out about me, they see my skills, they're like, oh yeah, I could use you. And you just started building with people. And that's how I really started growing here in the industry here in Atlanta, in this
Okay.
industry. Yeah.
That's good, because in theater, number one, it's so funny to me. I totally agree with you that the best thing to do is start out in theater. I started in theater. I did the theater run for about 5 years straight,
hmm
and I was doing two or three at a time, which was a lot.
Yeah. Woo!
But then I got to a point to where I got a taste of TV, and I said,
hmm
"Oh, this is it." And
It's a
I
breeze.
just I just switched over, and so I've been
hmm
doing film after film after film, but I still love theater. Now, the
Yeah.
hardest thing for me with theater here in Atlanta, I've done some great plays, but
hmm
a lot of them I have problems because I don't feel like a lot of people here in Atlanta take it as serious
Mm,
as
that's
some
film.
other people may take it.
Okay, got you.
Like,
Yeah.
how you go to rehearsal, you got
hmm
you got to be with your person who you on set with and stuff. But
Yep.
some of them don't take it as serious as you do, and you like, where
Yeah.
where they at?
Right,
You
right.
know?
Yeah. I done been there, done that. Where it's only three of us showing up.
Right,
you
right. So
know,
how do you
I
feel? Do you love theater like that still,
mhm.
or does it deter you in any way?
I would say with theater, like you, okay, so when you're working with a group of people in theater, like you said, you gotta show up for
Yeah.
rehearsals, right?
Right,
You
right.
gotta actually show up for
Yeah,
theater, okay? So
right.
you're not gonna just put on a show and go over some lines and say, all right, I'll meet y'all on the day. you know, that's not going to happen, with theater, unfortunately. So I understand your bone about that because
Right.
you show up. I was the lead. Shout out to Why Am I Still Single? Stage play here in Atlanta, a comedy stage play, award-winning stage play. ATL Hottest. It actually won ATL's Hottest. I played the lead in that particular stage play, and so yes, you got people, maybe 3 or 4 people showing up, and it's a part of the territory. It's just a part of the growth, the experience, where,
Right.
like you said, some people may take it serious, some people don't understand it, or you don't want nothing to do with it. They rather do film, because it's easy. It's like, okay, line, give me that word, but when theater, it's like you better know improv because
Right.
if you lose those lines, you got to be quick on the draw or be able to
Yep.
retain, those lines.
Right.
So it's a different dynamic, and I think it's like it holds a different responsibility. With each comes a different accountability. But
Yeah.
I do think that some people do have a preference because of the fact that theater does carry more of a responsibility. It's more of a weight. It's more, you
Yep.
got to nail it. You got to punch it. You got to know all 200 and whatever pages there are
Yeah.
in that script, versus,
Yep.
you can review your lines, but when you come to set, you can line, or you got time to review a couple of things. But once it's showtime on stage, it's showtime.
It
And
is.
so, but I think it does prepare you for film. And I think people appreciate when you have a person at theater that can memorize their lines, know their parts, and jump in and not do a whole lot of takes, because time is
Exactly.
money and money is time. So
Yeah.
it kind of works for your benefit, to be able to have that skill set. And bring it to film, and bring it on film. But the one thing I do love about film is that I do feel like it has its reach, like it has a greater reach, because when you
Yes.
can put it out there and stream, and you can put it on networks, and
Yeah.
anyone in the world can click on it and look at your film, and see, your work and what you're doing. To me, it reaches further than someone
Yeah.
having to buy a ticket and, actually show up in person. So it
I
has its,
agree.
its differences or whatever. But film, I'm falling in love with film, and I want to do a
Yeah.
whole lot more film. I love film, because, like I said, I just think you're able to get more of a reach and really, penetrate the hearts of people a little bit more with film.
Yeah. I was promoting one of your films today
Oh,
that you were in.
yeah.
Because I wanted people to see why, I'm bringing you onto the show. And
Thank you.
I said, okay, I need to go watch the entire film, you
And
know,
this was the therapist.
the therapist.
Uh-huh.
And for you to play that type of role, because it looked like you were playing like a psychotic type of
Yes,
role.
yes.
How was that?
Mm-hmm.
Because, this is the thing. A lot of people, when
Mm-hmm.
they do film, some people like to play it safe. They don't really
Mm-hmm.
like to challenge themselves.
Right.
To play somebody kind of psychotic, you have to challenge yourself.
Yes.
What did you have to go through to prepare to do a role like that?
Yes. Oh, the preparation. So
Mhm.
one thing I did do was, first of all, I watched a lot of film and a lot of movies that were about therapists. Like, I watched certain actors that I really liked, that did psychological thrillers, or played a therapist, or played that type role.
Right,
I really kind of honed in on a lot of them, and just, you just kind of glean and you learn tips and skill sets, and you just observe, like, okay, maybe I could learn how to, my facial expressions, or how they portray, this emotion, or, you just, you pick up
right.
on those little things. So I did watch a lot of movies, that I really liked, and a lot of actors that I loved.
Okay.
And then also just imagination, right? Because I'm not crazy in real life, but as an actress, you should be able to use your imagination and tap in, right? We got a
Mm.
crazy world around us. I mean,
We
you can
do.
just
We
turn on
do.
the news and,
Yep.
and see crazy every day.
Yep. Every
So,
day.
it's right there. You can observe it every day and soak it up. But I think the part of being an actress is being able to use your imagination and tap in.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to do, I'll tell you one person that at the time her show came out. Um, It's Emma Yahtzee. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Oh God, how do you pronounce her name? She has the new show out that comes out on Hulu. It's slipping my mind right now, but she is
Okay.
amazing. It's one of my favorite shows. She plays an attorney though, but still, I love her acting. Um, is it Emma Yahtzee? I think that's her name. How do you
I
pronounce
think
her
I
name?
know who you're talking about,
You
and I
know what
think
I'm
that
talking
is
about?
her
Yes.
name
I don't know
because
why it's slipping my
I
name
saw
right
it.
now. And it's one of my favorite shows,
Yeah.
nevertheless. Anyway, but I did hone in on that, use my imagination, and I wanted it to be realistic. I wanted it to, people to really tap in because this is real life people. People really
Right.
do have these issues in real life. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
could read the news and documentaries, where stuff like this actually really happens to people.
Right.
I just tapped in my skill set. I tapped in and just really got into the character. And I will say this: after I got that role, after I finished filming, true story, I literally I had to go to the doctor because I literally started having, so the character would have like these blackouts and have like these issues with her head where she would go out in and out.
Right.
But I started having like these dizzy spells, and I must have got so into character, I really started having those types of
Oh
issues,
wow.
and I had to go to the doctor. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like I'm okay. Like you fine, your mind, your head is fine. You can't. I was like, what is going on? And I realized that sometimes you can be so embedded into a character that it
Yeah.
can affect you physically. Because I always tell people acting is spiritual. It's
It is.
not just physical. It really is spiritual. So you have to be very careful. I always say prayed up. That's my thing. You got to be prayed up.
Yeah.
When you're challenging yourself to tell a story to that magnitude, because like I said, you can't, the mind doesn't know the difference between reality and if you're just faking it or not, it
Yeah.
doesn't know. So you really
Right.
have to just, be in tune, be wise. And I'm a prayer warrior. So you got to stay prayed up in this industry with whatever decision you make, so that's how I prepared for it.
Okay. So what's been your biggest challenge in the industry? Because, a lot of women come on, when they come on the show and I ask them what their challenge is, they're saying it's just hard to get cast when you're a Black woman. It's so
Mhm,
many different things that they look at. And I
mhm.
said, well, a lot of that has changed since Black Panther and certain movies came out, which highlighted, powerful Black women. What is your opinion about that?
So I think in some regards, I mean, things have changed, right? Ever since we've been
Mhm.
able to pick up a phone and get on a streaming platform, we
Right.
can create. That's the biggest thing I think is the biggest bonus for us, right? Is
Yeah.
that especially Black women, we can create our own, we can write, we can produce, and we are
Yeah.
showing that we're proving that every day.
Yeah.
All you need is a team, a vision, and a team, right? So I think in some regards that has shifted. It's gotten better for us, but there's still challenges. And as
Yeah.
you see, I mean, we got our sisters like Taraji P. Henson, we got Angela Bassett. I mean, who vocal about still the challenges that Black women, face in Hollywood, even in independent, even as an independent artist in the independent world, it's still a challenge because it's a lot of us out here. It's enough room for all of us. But I think when we take on the mindset that all of us can create and all of us can produce something, and we can produce and write films that we
Yeah.
want to portray, because at the end of the day, your gifts and your skills and your talents are from God and they belong to you. And you have the authority to use it the way you want to use it. So
Yeah.
you can write, you can produce, you can do however you want to do it. We have the ability to do that today. So in regards to us doing it ourselves, we got the power. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, it is challenging. You got to audition, and how many people
Yeah.
are actually auditioning for that part?
Right.
It is a challenge, and it can be a little bit disheartening at times. But here's my thing: the one thing I know, that God would never open a door for me that is not for me. And I truly
Exactly.
believe that if it is for you, you're going to walk through that door. Nobody can take what belongs to you. And
That's
I'm a
right.
stickler for quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Baby, quality over quantity. I have turned stuff down because I'm like, nope, that's not how I want to use my gifts.
Right.
That's not how I want to portray. That's not how I want people to see my talent and my gift.
Right.
So it's a challenge. It's like you really gotta You,
You
when
gotta
you're
know.
passionate about it, and you have, you're passionate about it, and you have purpose behind it, not
Right.
just to be seen, not just to be on screen, but you really want to tell. My motto is changing the world one scene at a time. That's my motto.
Yeah.
And so if I can change the world with one scene at a time, that means I really have to be purposeful in every scene or every script that I say, you know what, I'm going to embody this, and I want people to hear this, and I want people to see this story. Because people
Right.
should want to change something after watching you. Something should
Yeah.
shift inside of somebody. A mindset should shift, a heart should change, something, somebody get inspired, get motivated, somebody should learn something from your gifts and your talents. So,
Absolutely.
um, yeah, I'll just conclude it with that.
Well, what now that in itself is interesting because when people look at film, for instance, and you playing the psychotic role,
Mhm,
a lot of people would assume that you've went through something that
mhm.
made you be able to do that. I give an example. Like I played some domestic violence roles in some films, and I was that guy. Like when I tell
Mhm.
you I was that guy, I was that guy. I had
Yes.
people scared to come at me, scared to talk to me, the whole nine. So
Wow.
so it was very interesting at the time, but at the same time
Mhm.
that role opened so many doors for me. Even
Yes.
this radio show that I'm on now, that I'm hosting right now with you, it opened
Yes.
that door. So
Yes.
when I look at different things that we go through in the industry, what may look crazy to some people is a
Mhm.
plus to other people. It
Yep.
benefits them all the way. I just love that, and I love that about you because I got to finish watching the movie because I started watching it, but I couldn't finish. I got a lot going on,
I know
but
that's right.
I am gonna finish watching it, that movie because I want to see the whole thing. Now, if you were offered a role, if someone was to call you right now and say, Chichi, I got this role for you. It's the perfect role. What role would that be that you have desired to play that you hadn't played?
Oh gosh, I've always wanted to play an attorney. I've been a therapist. But something about playing a lawyer, defending
Okay.
people who are helpless, that taking that power and authority. I've always wanted to play that type of role. I love, like I said, that my show, I can't even, it's my favorite show, y'all, but I can't think of my, it's so
Are you
crazy how my
have,
mind is
are you
going.
talking about a show called Reasonable Doubt? Have you seen that?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, reasonable doubt. I could
Yeah.
not think of it. I kept wanting to say double jeopardy.
I
I don't know that
binge
that's not
watched
it.
that.
But I'm
Binge watched it.
yes, binge watch. Oh my God. When it first came out, I was infatuated. But I love that show
It's
because I
amazing.
just love that it speaks to a Black woman,
Right.
with femininity, with power, with authenticity, with genuineness, with, just a real everyday person,
Right.
but defends and helps people. So I've always wanted to
Right.
play that role. I love period pieces. Love
Yeah.
period. I love period.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I'm writing my first script as well. I'm actually writing my first one, and one of them actually two scripts. One is a period piece, because I love telling stories from back in the day.
Back in
I
the day.
love those stories. I'm in love with a period piece because I love the history of things. You know what I'm saying? I
Okay.
like to do that. And I think, yeah, those are like my two I haven't played yet
Okay.
that I would
Okay.
love to play.
I think
Yeah.
that's really good because I love everything. I think I done played just about everything. The only thing I hadn't played, which I already wrote the script to, is like a sci-fi action drama.
That's I was just gonna say action. I have not done action. I
Okay.
wanna flip. I wanna be like what's my boy named Tom Cruise. I wanna flip off some stuff. I wanna shoot up some stuff. Like
Like Mission
I
Impossible.
want my girl Colombiana, Colombiana. I
Oh yeah.
love her. Zoe Saldana. She is my girl.
Yeah.
I love her so much. Yes, I
Yeah.
really look up to her. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
And
really
she's a
good.
little thing too,
Action.
but she be killing it in the films.
And so that's why I can relate because I'm little and I'm like I can do what she do. Yes, I can tear some stuff up.
Okay, okay. And how much support do you have in this? Like, I know you have a son, which you
Mhm.
talked about, but how important is it to have the support that you have?
Oh my gosh. So my family, if anybody follows me, if you follow me, then you see my family.
Yeah.
My family is, I am blessed. Let me just say this. I'm blessed and I thank God for my family. My family is they are my greatest supporters. They're tuning in now. But my family supports me ever since I was young. They come to my premieres. So let me give you that. My first premiere, my first movie premiere, shout out to my boy Corey. It was one of my first roles. It wasn't that, nothing major. I probably had like two lines. I played a wife, two lines and maybe two scenes. It was real quick. And I told my family in North Carolina about it. And I was like, I got a premiere coming up. And they was like, I was like, it ain't gonna be like two lines. They was like, we don't care. We're taking two vans and we're coming. They were like, we don't care if you get in the camera and you just wink your eye. We coming to support. Support you. So my first premiere, they got two big 15 passenger vans from North Carolina, and they
What?
drove up for that premiere. I still got the pictures and everything. I've posted them online. But they came. My grandmother, who's 96 years old, Annie Pearl Wilson, y'all, she is amazing. You're gonna love her. She came through the door with a white fur coat all the way to the floor and walked in the door and said, "Where's my granddaughter?" I mean, they came ready. You hear me? My family, I love my family. And I think it's so important to have support because when you're trying to pursue your dreams and you're trying to pursue
Yeah.
something that you believe God has called you to, you want that support. Everybody needs somebody to show up just to say, good job. I'm here. I
Right.
see what you're doing. I got your back. I'm going to support you. I always say your presence is the presence. I
Yep.
don't care about the gifts, all that stuff. Just
That's great.
showing up for me is the presence. That is the gift. Okay. Your presence is the gift. So I thank God for my family because my family shows up and we show up like that for one another. I don't care what it is. Like we are there for each other. So support is huge. And friends, my best friends, my community at church, my people, my sisters and God, like they all support and we love one another. And I think it's so important, man. Nobody can be on an island by themselves. We
Yeah.
cannot do this alone. Everybody has to have a
Right.
team. Period.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
gotta
that's
have a team.
amazing because, and just so you know, I don't care how big the scene is. If you kill that scene, that is
That's right.
your scene. You know
It's
what I
yours,
mean?
right?
Because I'm gonna tell you right, I did a scene. It was just one scene I was in. It's the second
Uh-huh.
scene in the entire movie, and I played an arrogant dude, just arrogant
Ooh,
to the lead girl. And
uh-huh.
when I tell you that is the most talked about scene, everywhere
Period.
I go, somebody mentions that scene to
Period.
me.
That's
Everywhere.
it.
And that movie is star-studded. Like all kind of celebrities in it. And I was only
Yes.
in the second scene. So
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I
that's what I
know.
say. And that one scene got me a lead role in another movie and
And
another movie.
see what I'm
So
saying?
yeah,
Exactly. So you never like nothing is too small ever.
right.
Nothing is ever too small. And that's why I'm like, yo, I will take opportunities, if I know and take that opportunity and make it big, because it's all
Right.
about what you do in that moment. Is really what matters. It's how you take that moment, how you look at that opportunity, how you
Yeah.
perceive that opportunity. And any opportunity I get, I'm like, I'm thankful. I want to take it to the next level, whatever I can do. Yes,
Now
yes,
you do a plethora of things. You dance.
yes.
How much
Mm-hmm.
now what in your list of attributes from speaker to actress to dance, what is your favorite thing to do?
Oh gosh, favorite. I don't even know if I can use the word favorite. Um, Dang, what is my favorite thing to do? I will say this. I love everything I do.
Right.
But my purpose, my why is what makes it. Because everything I
Yeah.
do, I really want to empower people. I want to
Yes.
bless people. I want to help people. I want to pour into people.
Okay.
So even if I'm on set, like I said, I've had my hands in producing. I've worked in front of the camera and behind the camera.
Okay.
I've had my work in production management. I've helped produce a film called How to Make Anyone Fall in Love with You with Don Hafeke. And I've also and Anthony Dalton, I've also helped
I
produce a
know
film
both of
called
them. Okay.
yes, produced a film called helped do production management, a film called Player that's on Amazon Prime. I think it's on Amazon Prime and Tubi, if I'm not mistaken. So, and I've also done some work like makeup. I've done makeup on set. So I do a little bit of everything, but with everything I do, my goal is I always want people to feel good about who they are. So if I'm behind the camera or in front of the camera, I'm going to make sure, I let people know they are seen, they are heard, they are loved, that what they have to give, what they have to offer, it matters. And really, that's my purpose. I always
Right.
say my purpose is not what I do, but it's how I affect people when I do what I do. And to me,
Right.
that's what matters the most. Now, when it comes to praise dancing, so when you said my favorite thing to do, giving God glory is that's that's my
Hands
job.
down. Right.
I'm sorry. That hands
Yeah.
down, praising
Yeah.
God, worshiping God. I get further in life doing that than anything else because nothing
Yeah.
else matters outside of that, for me. So I love the expression of dance. Of course, I'm a theater person, so dance, singing, anything that's big and theatrical, anything, any way I can show emotion and expression in a big way. That's what I love doing. And I think praise dancing, of course, that's my relationship with God, but it's also my way of expressing who I am and expressing how I feel. Dancing, period, because I grew up dancing. I was a
Right.
cheerleader, I was on the dance team. All those things. Just growing up doing all that stuff. But I love it all. I love speaking. I love hosting. I love speaking into people. I love making people smile. I love doing all of those things. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and you've been recognized quite a bit for all your attributes that you have mentioned. So, you had a global, what was it
Yeah.
called? A global award that you got.
So yes, and she is global. She is global award recognition. I
Right.
actually, yes, that was last year
Right.
at the She is Global Award. I was recognized for my work in entertainment. And I'll actually now this year in July, July the 3rd, I will be hosting that conference in New Orleans. So
Oh,
that's coming up
nice.
in July 3rd. So now I'll be hosting that conference. Shout out to Dr. Melody. She is an amazing woman. She is the owner and the visionary of that. I've also won ATL Hottest Actress last year. Shout out to them over there at ATL Hottest. They're doing some amazing work recognizing
I know Brian.
amazing talent. Yes, my boy Brian. Yes, he
I
is.
went to high school with him.
Oh wow, it's a small world.
It's a small world. And I
Yes,
won the seventh annual award. So I won the hottest actor then.
yes. Okay, so you're a recipient ATL Hottest. Okay,
And
ATL Hottest.
sitting right here in front of me. See, I have all
Oh,
my
look,
stuff
look,
sitting
look.
around me.
You ain't said nothing. Look at that. Look at that. Yes. I've also won the Achi Magazine Awards 2 times in a row. Actually, I have that up here. Here, a woman. The first year I won Woman on the Rise, and then
Nice.
the second year I won Editor's Choice Award for the Achi Magazine Award. So
Okay.
that was truly a blessing. It's a blessing for people to see what you're doing, to see your work and be recognized. I always say the people who recognize you, I think they deserve the most recognition because, when someone takes the time out to say, hey, I see what you're doing and I want to reward you for it and I want to acknowledge you, to me, that's a such a humbling thing. Like I just love
Yeah.
people who really take the time, their resources and whatever they have to take time to recognize another individual because it speaks to who they are. It really
Yeah.
says a lot about a person. You really have to have a spirit of humility to really recognize people and honor people. And I think that's God's way, right? I think that's how we can continue to, as a community, as people, that's how we should honor one another. We should build each other up,
Yep.
edify edify each other by just recognizing each other's strengths and what we're doing, because it's hard work out here and it takes a lot
Oh, it
just to
is.
do one thing. You hear what I'm saying? For you to do this show, it takes a lot. Just to do one thing. I know.
Well, I've definitely been saying every time I go on social media, I see something of you come across my page, and I said,
Wow.
"Who is this
Wow.
woman?" So
Wow.
I
And
did my
sometimes I'll be like, I'm
research.
not doing enough. You thinking I ain't
No,
doing enough.
and that's funny because I feel the same way, and people recognize me from certain things the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
you think you just, just doing
Hmm.
whatever and people notice. But I
Yes.
did notice a lot of stuff that was going on, and you was always on my timeline. I'm like, who is this person? So I looked to see
Yes.
what was going on. I said, okay, she's doing her thing.
Yes. To
And I
God be the
think
glory.
people like that need to be recognized. I think people need to know what's going on here in Atlanta because Atlanta is such a huge but small place. And when
Yes.
I say that, people in the industry understands exactly what I mean.
Hmm.
Because people in when they film here, if they from LA, they bring people here from LA. When they got people
Yep.
here in Atlanta who can do the exact same thing, and
Same
maybe
thing. Yep.
so. So when it comes to that, and I see somebody still grinding and working hard, I say, okay, I need to figure out who this is. I want to bring them on the show and highlight them because they're doing positive stuff, and I'm all about positivity. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
so
Absolutely.
congratulations on all your successes and accolades. I think that's amazing. You're
Thank
definitely
you.
doing some things. You're doing a lot because I'm sitting here looking. I'm like, man, this woman getting award after award after award. So
That's the God
congratulations
be the
on all of
glory.
that.
I'll be like, what am I doing? I feel like I ain't doing enough, but I'm thankful. Like I said, I'm thankful when people recognize the efforts that you make, and it just makes you want to push even harder. It just motivates you, like to say, okay, I can do this. I can keep going. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you opening your platform to me and allowing me to come on your platform, just to share a little
Yeah.
bit about me.
No doubt, man. I think it's deserving. So let's just say you have your favorite actors. Now, you watch movies like I watch movies, obviously TV series, things like that.
Hmm.
And if there was one female actor, we're gonna start with females first, that you
Okay.
want to work with, who would that be? Famous actor, actress.
Ooh, yeah. Actress, oh gosh, whoo, so many of them. I would say probably one that I would really wanna work with, always wanted to work with was Taraji. I've
Yeah.
always I've always since I started, I always felt like we gonna meet and we gonna be sisters, you know? Like she has like my story, single mama story. Like it's just her passion, her drive, how she feels about
Yeah.
acting, her heart for it. I just always felt like, man, I would love to work with Taraji. I just love who she is. I love her gift. I just love her. I just love who she is. Yeah, definitely Taraji all day.
I know for sure you're gonna do it. I know you're gonna
Yeah,
make it because you
yeah.
you you got something. You
I
definitely got
received
something.
it. I
Now,
received
what actor would you like to work with if you had a famous actor?
male actor that I would want to work with. Oh my goodness. I've never really thought about a male actor that I would want to work with. But if I had to choose a male actor, um, I would say maybe someone like Samuel Jackson. I
Yeah,
would want to work with him. Um, I'll also say Robert Townsend because I love his testimony. I like his
right,
how he came up. And I got a chance to kind of talk with him one time at a film festival, and I was really intrigued with just his drive and how he just came in this
right.
industry and did it. So I really like Robert Townsend. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the guy.
yeah. He's pretty amazing. I've seen him a
He's
couple
passionate.
times,
Hmm.
and I love the guy. His
Yeah,
movies that he produced and stuff are really good movies.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
an amazing talent for sure.
He is, and I like that he sees talent in people, just not Hollywood people, but he likes to give people a chance, an opportunity. Like he sees
Right,
people in independent, in the independent space. He's a big supporter of independent too, so I really like that about him, and
right.
he's good. He's really good.
Now, so you actress, singer. I mean, not singer,
Mhm.
but dancer.
I do
Wait, can you
sing.
sing? And now, if you
I
can
do.
sing,
I
what?
can sing, yes. I
You can
grew up
sing
singing.
too?
Like, I grew up singing on the choir.
Oh my
Yes,
lord! Now
I
I didn't see
sang.
that. I didn't see that on here nowhere.
Yes, I sang too. My mama was the choir director. I ain't had no choice but but to sing
Right.
growing up.
So you
Yes.
just multifaceted and everything. Okay. So where did singing come in at? Because I don't. So do you do theatrical stage plays with singing in it involved?
Yes, yes, I
Okay.
have done. So I done a
Okay.
couple of stage plays with singing. One in particular was called Queen Esther, Woman of God. It was a musical stage play. And the producer, Krista Adderley, she actually turned a biblical story about Queen Esther, and she modernized it and made it more modernized. And she turned it into a musical. So I actually played Queen Vashti. So I had singing roles and dancing. So we sung it was a whole musical. Like
Oh wow.
it was the bomb. We're actually hopefully prayerfully she's bringing that back because it's a really good show. It was a really good production.
I would
Yeah, so
like to see
I
that.
sing and I dance. Yeah, I do sing, dance, and act. All of it. That's why
You
I love
need,
theater.
you need to add that in your bio.
I know. I do. You know what? I be saying I got to get some voice lessons because I'm a little rough around the edges, but I got to tune it back up. I need to tune it back up. Definitely. I got to wet my whistle.
Man, what do you not do? That's the question. What is it that you just don't do?
What I don't do, oh Lord, when it comes to gifts and talents, man, as far as the entertainment goes, I just do it all. I love it. I
Right,
mean, I'll act, I'll host, I'll sing, I'll whatever. I love the entertainment arena because to me it's one of the most powerful, influential mountains, right? You have seven influential mountains, and entertainment is one of them, and
right,
it's a great way to really influence and bring change to a lot of people. And then when God gives you the gifts, you just want to use them. You want to do something with it. So yeah, there's not too much. I mean, it's a lot of stuff I don't do. I don't know how to do tricks, and I don't know how to, do acrobats and stuff like that. I don't know how to do none of that. But
you said you was a cheerleader, so I figured
but
you
I
know.
listen. I'm 44 though now. I gotta get some training to do that now. But you know what? If I get trained, if I had to train for a movie to do certain things, I'll whip it into action for sure.
I heard that. I
Yeah,
heard that.
good. Yeah, yeah, he
Man, you
doing.
know what? Time go by fast because we almost close to the end of this. So let me. So if you had any inspirational words to give to someone who's looking to act,
Mhm.
what would that be?
Yes, first things first is I would tell you write down your purpose first.
Hmm.
Because if not, you'll get lost in the sauce and it's a lot out here. And I would say when you write your purpose, then everything should flow from that. The type of roles you want to play, the characters you do, what you want to do, why did write, produce, or whatever. And from there, I feel like everything kind of flows because you can do it all. You can do
Yeah.
everything. And then the number two thing I would say, serve. Um, Always be willing to serve. Always be willing to roll your sleeves up and serve
Right.
somebody else's vision. Because when you're willing to humble yourself and serve, not only are you serving, but it's also a way for you to learn, and you learn and grow by and glean from other people,
Right.
working and don't be afraid to do any, work behind the scene, work behind the camera, work in front of the camera. Like learn every aspect
Every
of
aspect.
acting, because you can be behind the camera one day and because somebody knows who you are and they're like, I remember how helpful you were. I had a lot of people tell me that. I remember your spirit. I remember how you were. And I went and I got a lot of people who just called me that want to, bring me on because they're like, you were such a good person to work with. And I
Right.
love your spirit and you were so helpful. So I think that's my two biggest things. Write your purpose down. And then from there also, be willing to serve and serve somebody's vision. You can't everybody can't be the lead. So it's okay. But own your part, own whatever
Yeah.
part that you make. It's a puzzle, right? Every
Right.
every film, every production, there's a piece of the puzzle. So just own your part and have fun and enjoy. But yeah, purpose, make sure you have your purpose. Know your why. Because if you don't, you'll be doing anything and all over the place. And I know we've all experienced that where you just doing so much and now you just don't know if you're coming or going. um,
Okay.
but it's a part of the journey.
Yeah, it is. It is. And
Mhm.
you have surpassed it. Like you're killing the scene. You're killing the scene, man.
I'm
I
still trying.
and I have some things coming up, so I definitely look out for some things.
Yes,
I have
yes,
quite a few things
likewise,
about to pop off, so it's gonna be good. Um,
likewise.
how can people contact you? What's your social media handles?
Yes, so on Instagram, it is charming.chichi, Chichi. On Facebook, it is my name, my government name, Chiquita Rhodes. It's like spelled like the Chiquita banana, Chiquita Rhodes. So yeah, that's Facebook and Instagram. You can find me on both of those.
Thank you so much. And the movie that what was the name of it again?
The therapist?
The Therapist.
Yes.
Where can people go watch that at?
Yes, so you can watch The Therapist on Amazon Prime. You can go turn on to Amazon Prime and type in The Therapist, and I'm there. I also have a series on there called Hidden. That's also kind of like a little psychological thriller. It's crazy. Go on there. It's called Hidden. You'll love that as well. And two movies that I have on one movie on Tubi that I had some production work in called Player, and the other one is How to Make Anyone Fall in Love with You.
Okay.
So those are some other good movies to go out there and watch. You definitely will love those.
All right. And thank you for your time because I reached out to you and you were like, yes, you would love to right off the bat. So I appreciate you and your time. This was a great interview. I hope that we definitely get to work together at some point in the future.
Yes, we
I've been,
shall.
oh, yeah, it's going to happen. Trust me. I'll
Yes.
make sure you happen. So I really love your energy and everything. You have a great vibe. So I definitely no, we'll be in touch.
Absolutely.
With that note, I want to thank you for coming on the show. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Wardell Richardson of WCEG Wood, Hollywood of the South. Make sure
Ooh,
you go and check out the movie I'm in called The Strength of Love. It is on Apple TV and Prime Video. Please go check it out. I think I have like 8 movies on Prime Video when I counted
oh,
the other
awesome.
day. So just put my
Ooh,
name in the search bar, and several movies will pop up, and probably on the cover of several of them. So just go in there, check some out, whatever you think. But make sure you go see The Strength of Love. That is my latest film to hit the screen. It has been getting a lot of rave reviews. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you
mhm.
gonna flip out. You gonna have go through every emotional turmoil that goes on in your head. You gonna feel it in that film, and I loved it. I love doing it. And also make sure that you go and check out the links I have for Soleil. It is a event that we're putting on every second and fourth Saturday of every month. 3-course meal, jazz, DJ, drinks, amazing food. You don't want to miss out. It's going to be a great time. I got my hands in some everything. So make sure you go and to the link, and you can get VIP seating, you can get couple seating, you can get single seating, get whatever. And check us out. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're putting a lot into it. You're gonna love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I can't express that anymore. So without further ado, Chi Chi, thank you so much for coming on once again. It was an
Yes,
honor. And I
absolutely.
want to thank everyone for tuning in on WCEG Wood, Hollywood of the South. This was the last show of this season. I'll see you back again in August, September, sometime around that. But I will give you a heads up. I had to finish out hard, and I did. I finished out hard. So,
Thank you so much.
no doubt. Thank you. And we are tuning out right here on WCG Wood, Hollywood of the South. Peace.